Several areas in Switzerland, June 26, 2024.
Regardez ce qui se passe à Morges actuellement, avec les orages qu'il y a eu. Parc d'indépendance, regardez.
In Morges, the biggest flood of the century prompted firefighters to intervene 180 times. The town of Vaudois suffered heavy storm damage Tuesday night. If no affected residents are reported, authorities call for caution and continue restoring services. The images taken by some Morgia residents Tuesday night were apocalyptic, almost surreal. Station tunnels were impassable, Migros car parks were transformed into giant swimming pools, Independence Park was flooded, and roads were filled with mud and branches. This was mainly caused by heavy rain which occurred around 6 p.m. and caused the Morges River to overflow like never before. Authorities said the flow reached a peak of 43 cubic meters (sec) on Tuesday evening. Severe local storms occurred on Tuesday afternoon in French-speaking Switzerland, mainly along the Alps, according to Météo Suisse. Vaud was particularly affected. The city of Morges experienced major flooding. No injuries have been reported at this stage. The main storm peak was very localized and stationary, moving very little, so there was significant water accumulation in some places. Aude Untersee, forecaster at Météo Suisse, explained to Keystone ATS on Tuesday evening. He reported flooding in Morges. In the region, Penthalos and Geneva's St-Croix airport were also affected. Flooding caused power outages at Skyguide locations. A possible absolute record in Switzerland within an hour could be achieved if 98 millimeters of water fell over Lobersen, he said. This is huge. A total of 129 millimeters of water fell in 2 to 3 hours, and this was very spectacular, he explained. The stations of Féchy, Réveral and Cassanet recorded 26 millimeters, 53 millimeters and 41 millimeters respectively in less than 2 hours, he said. At Morges, the picture of the flood is most impressive. A violent storm late in the day caused the river of the same name to overflow its banks. Several places were flooded along the banks of the Morges, especially at the Moulin roundabout. Heavy rain caused rivers to overflow in several sectors. A tree also fell into the waterway, confirmed Vaud police spokesperson Jean-Christophe Sauterel. According to the newspaper Morges, flooding was visible on the side of the Parc de l'Indépendant but also in the city center, towards the Grand Rue. The Parc des Sports car park will no longer be accessible at night, according to local media. Traffic in downtown Morges could resume Wednesday morning. However, several business premises that were victims of floods and landslides will remain closed. Around 20 emergency service interventions are still ongoing. Photos show terraces submerged in floodwaters, water seeping into businesses and restaurants. The entrance to the city on Paderewski Avenue was particularly affected. According to Météo Suisse, between 26 and 53 millimeters of rain fell in less than 2 hours in the Morges region and at the foot of the Jura, between 1600 and 1800. In total, around 20 incidents were reported in the western, central and northern regions of Vaud, according to police. There were local floods, landslides, and roads were temporarily closed, summarized Jean-Christophe Sauterel. Police have not reported any injuries. The same observation on the Rue des Vignerons side, for example. In front of the Odeon cinema, we tried to control the situation as best we could. Certain entrances to homes and buildings were also flooded. On the side of the tunnel next to Place de la Gare, the same thing. The Parc des Sports car park is also impassable. Many residents have never seen a situation like this in a city where Sis Morget had to intervene almost 150 times, according to 24 HERS. In a 10-kilometer radius around Morges, certain access has been cut off.
Mais la rivière elle est déchaînée. Vraiment.
Especially A1. Mud, lots of water, and a completely new picture. The residents of Morges will remember this evening of Tuesday, the 20th of June 2024 for a long time. The extent of the damage remained to be assessed Wednesday morning. And to measure all this, Vaudois firefighters intervened more than 200 times overnight from Tuesday to Wednesday following storms that hit the region. The Morges area was most affected. At Cointrin, airport traffic has resumed. Firefighters carried out a total of 187 interventions following the extremely powerful storm on Tuesday around 6 p.m. 25 people were still in the process as of Wednesday morning, Thierry Cherry, commander of Sis Morget, told Keystone ATS. The intervention focused on the neighborhood of Morges, which overflowed on Tuesday, and on the city's high ground. The situation is under control, added the commander. Morges' height rose quickly, but it also fell quickly. There was major damage to surrounding buildings, he said. Perusahan Assurancy Kewalayahan Vad Memper Kirakan Akan Munarima Antara 2000 Dan 3000 Laporan Claim. Menorit Perkaran Awal, Karugian Yang Ditimbulkan Bisa Menkapai Sekatar 20 Juta Frank. Naman, Masi Terlala Dini Untuk Melakukan Penalian Lengkup Adas Peristiwa Tersput. Hal ini Tida Akan Mungkin Dilakukan Dalam Babera Pahari, Kata Rafael Stuker, Manager Komunikasi DECA. Mayoritas Kasus Benkana Bersel Dari Walaya Morges. Tetapi Kerusakan juga telah diumumkan di Vad Utara, di Org, Champent dan Aberson misalnya, tambah Mr. Stuker. Rekor absolute yang mungkin terjadi di Swiss dalam waktu 1 jam dapat dikapai dengan jatuhnya air setinggi 98 mm di atas Loberson, menurut ad untersi, peramal kuaka di Meteorological. Ini sangat besar. Sebanyak 129 mm air turun secara kumulatif selama 2 hingga 3 jam, dan ini sangat spektakuler, katanya. Situasi meteorologi pada Selasa malam ditandai dengan